more you own your own analytics, the more accurate it's going to be to what's really happening in your business. Because if you're leveraging a third party, they do a good job, out of the box stuff will stand up some basic things, but they're not customizing it for your business. They're not looking at your costs, all of those things. So the more ownership you have of your own tracking, the more accurate it's going to be. And then secondarily, you can start to put in a lot of parameters that are going to tell you more about your business that these, out of the box setups don't do. And so just kind of as we look at this, so when someone's reviewing a tracking link, you have your basic URL and then you have your question mark. And the question mark is what's the beginning of what's called the query string. Everything after this is a piece of data that one or more systems are going to look at to be able to categorize this data into buckets that you can later go through and slice and dice. And so what's really interesting to me is there's a combination of stuff here. So we've got, origin experiment original equals true, and step equals 1, and funnel step ID equals this. These are all things for their very specific internal CRM that's telling them about, facts about their tests, right? These are all nomenclatures that are unique to this individual publisher or this seller. And being able to go through and understand all of these different components means something to them that don't mean anything to you and me, right? And that's kind of that part of, I can't really go through and decipher those things, but I can tell you they are continuing to look at different details to really be able to slice and dice and understand performance. Once we get past a lot of their original brand, those types of things, we're getting down to where it says and N equals GDN TCR, right? So that to me means network. What network are we serving these ads on? Having the ability to go in and see that. I do not know what TCR stands for, but I know the GDN's Google Display Network. So this is something of how they're serving something. There's a nomenclature there. And then we move into the Google Analytics parameters. So we have UTM campaign, campaign ID, content, UTM medium, source, UTM term. And what I really like about the term, so just so we can focus on that for a second, they're going in and they're actually adding all of their IDs so that they can track each individual component of a campaign. So they have ad ID equals this. This is the ad ID that they serve this on. They have their ad set ID, they have their campaign ID, and their system will go take these, it'll look for those specific strings and it'll parse it out so they can say, this click came from this ad set, this campaign on Google, so they can then go back and match things up. The next piece, they have sub ID 4, and you'll see that parameter is actually repeated just after this. It's in GCLID, so it's the exact same parameter in there twice. And what they're doing with that is they've got talking about when we're really moving towards the point of pixels are not as efficient as they used to be. So having the ability to do offline conversion tracking, we use state offline conversion tracking for everything that we do with Google, and being able to take your Google Click IDs, and then secondarily, there also is the ability. So Google Click ID is GCLID is for Android devices, and WBraid is for iOS devices. And I actually take that back. GCLID is for non-iOS devices because I actually clicked on this from a browser. From my desktop browser. So it got lumped into the GCLID bucket. But it's being able to take these pieces of these tracking parameters and start to post them back with additional information about purchases. This is the kind of stuff that's so important for companies to be able to do to ensure that they have the most accurate tracking possible. If people aren't aware, at the end of 2024, Google Chrome is going to be rolling out something that gets rid of third-party cookies. So Facebook, Google, et cetera, will not be able to keep cookies on your devices. So to me, retargeting is going to just be hugely obsolete. It's already gone down, but it will be a massive difference. And so now from a conversion tracking perspective, people thought iOS 14 was bad. You're going to be very interested to see what it's like at the end of 2024. But this is why you really need to be implementing something with server-side tracking. So you have the ability to take these identifying parameters. And there's really a click ID for pretty much every network now. You have Facebook click ID, you have Google click IDs, you have TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn. They all have these IDs that you're really just building postback URLs inside of your business to be able to send back conversion data. I wanted to start this discussion because this shows that these people are amazing marketers in the fact that they are tracking every variable they possibly can. And they have some reporting system on the back end that's slicing and dicing this. It's telling them, here's how this is performing. And then they're making decisions based off of that. And so I know this was a very long discussion about tracking, but this is what, if you want to be a master and be able to scale paid traffic, this is what you need to be able to do.